What are you going to do this week? What are you going to do today? I don't know. I'm going to go into the office. We're going to talk about time management today. KNUTELARSON, Pastorpedia with Jeff Bogue and Jim Brown. This is a tough one that some people love, depending on how they're built maybe. Some people hate. I just want to say as we start, I love doing this with you two guys. You both love Christ. You both love the church and people. But I know you love, or at least do, time management too. Let's talk about it. What are some essential elements of a work week? We're talking now about pastoring and family time and everything.
Big categories: God, family, church, and everything falls under that. And so those are the three bigs for me: God, family, church. Trying to keep those things in that order mixed together. Because if, as a pastor, one thing for me, if I fail as a husband, if I fail as a father, then in my mind, I'm failing as a pastor. And if I fail as a follower of God, when I mean fail is I'm not pouring into that element and I'm not being recharged. I can never be the father or the pastor I need to be.
Which one includes your personal life?
Family. I mean, all of them. They all overlap somehow. But my personal life, when I think about personal life, how am I managing my time at home? How am I managing my time outside of the office? Personal life.
Okay. Exercise, spiritual development.
Yeah, I put down personal health and relationships. When I think about my personal life, I have to be healthy spiritually, physically, emotionally. Then I need to have a system in place and I do. I have a system in place. I don't back off from it. I have a regular exercise plan. I want to be physically fit so that I can give my best to my family and give my best to my God and give my best to my church.
Jeff, you get a lot done. Mm-hmm. What are the essential elements of a week for you?
Well, I schedule all these things, actually. I know, scheduling is Newt's love language, so I schedule all these things out. But the same things, my time with Christ, which is often overlaps my time with the office. The time for me to best insulate myself with the Lord is with my office door closed. My family, for sure, making sure that I'm home in the evenings as much as I can, doing and being with my kids. I'm going to look at exercise. Exercise is very much a discipline for me. I don't enjoy it. Like I'm not looking to go play basketball.
You should enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't.
You're going to do it in heaven, Jeff. So you might as well get used to it.
Yeah, I know. But I don't like to go wrestle like a bear and eat its liver and stuff that Jim likes to do. So I look at that, and then a big part of my week is preaching, and that has to have its element. It takes a chunk of my time, and then management of the church. So I'm going to set it up that way, and I'm going to make sure that as I'm segmenting my calendar for the week, that those are the priorities that are going to hit. Now, an element that I think of that you guys, you two hyperactive ones, don't as much, I need to rest. Like I need...
You have a 2-hour nap built into everything.
I have a 2-hour nap and a massage. It's great. But I need to watch a football game, or I need to watch a movie. Like that's a big deal to me, to click my brain off.
I would say for me too, I have that, but I do it differently. I pull away. I go out and sit in the woods or get out in creation. I refresh getting alone. Like I do that also. I would also say I work very hard at making sure I get a certain amount of hours of sleep. I'm pretty I'm strong about that in my opinion on that, and even my actions. I work hard at getting good sleep because I know if I have a good night's rest, then I'll be able to operate well. So I really guard that area of my life too. But I pull away. I refresh, get out in the wilderness. Go off. When I go for a run, for you it's work. For me it's refreshment. That's where I hang with God. I would also say this, just the essentials: personal growth, the message, leading staff, vision, prayer, evangelism, and counseling and discipleship are kind of things that are the bigs for me in my schedule.
And if we don't schedule sermon time, whatever your pace and whatever your best emotional and spiritual time each day, schedule that. I just meet too many guys who write their sermons Saturday or even do study and cram time or hope they can. Obviously, tragedies are going to interrupt, and family too, but we've got to schedule our week. The word is master schedule.
Yep.
you attack your week. Don't let your week attack you. Let me ask, do you have to schedule them? Do you have to know what you're going to do every day? I can be too tight about this, but what are some ideas about scheduling your life or knowing when you're going to have family, all this you've referred to?
I definitely think you have to know what you're going to do every day. And ideally, you have an assistant that helps you with that and helps you to keep a schedule. If not, you just have to discipline yourself to do it. But if you do not, you will be swept over by the tyranny of the urgent. If you don't schedule leadership development, if you don't schedule exercise, if you don't schedule sermon prep, and I do think sermon prep, I think people overemphasize it and underemphasize it. I think people spend way too much time prepping for a sermon or not nearly enough. But if you break it out through your week so that you can come back with fresh thoughts and you're marinating in your sermon instead of trying to crank it into your brain, it'll preach more naturally. The management of the church, I'll block out administrative times where I'm going to take an hour and a half and I'm going to do my paperwork and that kind of stuff. But if you don't lay it out, the urgent or the distraction will just sweep over you and you don't accomplish what you need to accomplish.
I would agree. If you look at my week, it's very similar. I know Mondays is my day off. Tuesdays, staff meetings in the morning. Tuesday afternoons, I'm thinking through the administration from the weekend. Wednesday, I block out time for counseling. That's when, if you want to meet, that's the time I meet. Thursday, I'm developing the message. Friday, I actually shut my doors. I don't take any meetings, anything on Fridays, obviously, unless it's a real emergency. But that's my sermon writing time. Because we have to try to give our best every Sunday. We're writing a term paper, I would say, every weekend. And people are coming to be taught. That's a big moment. So I want to give my absolute best. I don't want to wing it, walk up extemporaneous, or go in the pulpit and say, on my way here today, God gave me this message. I threw that other one away. I've heard people say that, and I cringe.
One time in Ashland, Ohio, pastoring there, my wife at breakfast, we went out to breakfast every Thursday, said, with this great compliment, I think you're doing a great job with the church, but I don't think I know you. And I thought, that is really cool, because she likes the church. Okay, family time. How do you guard that? Just for a word on that before we talk about interruptions.
I violently protect my day off. It has to be a real emergency or a very deliberate decision for me not to take my day off. And if my normal day is interrupted, I make up for it. So my kids are waiting for me. And I also, I have chores to do at the house and all those kind of things. It's a big deal. I work very hard to have evenings. My kids are in school and those kind of things. So that 5 to 6 p.m. basketball game in my driveway is a big deal, with my kids and then helping out around the house. Even if we're just laying around, we choose to lay around and watch a Cavs game. We're together and we're having fun and we're all oohing and on at whatever LeBron did. But my vacation, we use them, all those kind of things.
Please.
And so
you have to gain
my wife looked at me one day and she said, you're doing a great job at the church and you're an amazing husband. And this is the way you can help me. She said, give me a predictable schedule. She actually said, I'm not bothered by how much you work. I'm bothered that I don't know when I can count on you. And so we work hard for that predictable schedule.
Yeah. And you could have said to her, God's using me. And
Yeah. Well, I think she
let me know how
knows
that goes, Jeff. Let me know how that works.
And what about interruptions? I've felt guilty reading some books about that God sends all interruptions. And a lot of you work in churches with no one else on staff and somebody walks in the church door. That's a hard call for many pastors.
Yeah. My wife and my children are never interruptions. That's a big one for me. And they know the boundaries. My kids are amazing at knowing when I'm in an important conversation and when I'm not. And Heidi and I have a little signal system when she calls. And if I'm in a meeting, I'll ignore it. If she calls me right back, she needs me. So I'll interrupt the meeting and do it. And then when there's an emergency, there's an emergency. That is a God thing. But defining what an emergency is, that's an us thing.
And I would say, don't let someone else's franticness become your foolishness. And,
That's a good phrase.
people often, this thing has been building for 30 weeks in their life, 6 months, and finally they get to the end, they're frantic, and they want change now. Don't let their franticness become your foolishness.
I wish I'd have heard that a long time ago as a young pastor with the Messianic complex. We got to see you today.
Right.
We got to be careful.
It's not going to be fixed overnight. That's some of the things that's been messed up for 6 months. Schedule time to meet with them.
Some of us are built this way. I had a master schedule when I was 18 in college. Was I? Yes.
Wow.
That was a long time ago.
I did.
It was before the First World War.
No, well, I fought in the First World War,
Okay.
but yeah. Some of us are more. What would you say? You're saying we got to do some of it and plan our day and plan our sermons and plan our leadership. All these other things have got to be built into our lives, starting with God.
You need to build a master schedule around your personality. And so my personality is probably similar to yours. Like, I have it down to the minute, and I feel like I'm behind if I'm not walking out the door the minute I thought I was going to walk out the door. My wife Heidi is Brazilian. It's unbelievable what she gets accomplished, but she does it a completely different way than I would do it. But she would wake up in the morning with her goals, her outcomes on her mind, be working for that. So I think the point is, have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you won't accomplish anything. Your plan can be your plan, though, right? It doesn't have to be our plan. You can get ideas from that, but wake up in the morning with that to-do list. The night before, make sure that you've figured out what you're going to accomplish the next day and have some kind of a plan. Don't wing it.
Gain control of your schedule, or it'll gain control of you. I mean,
Absolutely.
That basically, it's a pure, simple fact, but it is very true. And if you can't do it, for me personally, when it comes to scheduling, that's an area, discipline comes naturally for me. So I don't necessarily need to lean on someone as much. But if you're not able to do it, get yourself an assistant or someone that can help you out.
Yeah.
There's a verse in 1 Corinthians 9 where Paul says, I buffet my body.
Yeah.
New translation would be, I buffet my body. But
I like that new translation.
I want to apply this to time management. Sometimes we got to say, I got to do this. And somebody taught me once, do the hard thing first. Even if you're at the hospital and you're going to visit 2 people, go to the one that's a bear first. Just make your mind always be
That's
doing
good.
hard things.
I would say one last thing for me is I had to come to this resolution. I can't get everything done today.
Yeah.
There will always be, I'm the guy that I need to check it off. I need to get it done. I feel better when it's completed. And I finally had to realize that there always be more work. It's okay that there's more work, but make sure that you've scheduled what work you need to do.
And never brag that you skipped your vacation days.
No.
Keep them, your day off, your hours. Hey, thank you for listening or being a part of this. The printed material will be more on time management. Pastorpedia is meant to just say, we love you, we want to help. Maybe some suggestions will help because they've helped us. I'm with Jeff and Jim. I'm Newt. God's blessings to you. Thank you.